It's lights out here in Singapore, here for this 9th round of Sunday League F1. Welcome back everyone. It is finally race day again here around Singapore in this fine Sunday evening, and finally after 3 rounds your favorite commentator duo is back. I am back, Jaden is back. We are here finally back together to commentate what's gonna be very probably an exciting race here in Singapore. Qualifying has started, full qualifying has started. 19 drivers around this very hard street track for the drivers, and I think it's gonna be very exciting for us to watch. So we're off to a good one. So Jaden, I can finally welcome you back into the stream.
Thank you.
And so what do you think? What do you think about Singapore as a track? What do you think we can expect in the results, both in qualifying and the race? What do you think will happen?
Well, first of all, I like this track very much. It has some speed, it has some slow corners, but overall speed you get and grip is very good. Now, there's a lot of drivers here, full qualifying, 19 drivers in total. I'm checking, there's no one, so it's only just Gerbo here. That's very good news for Gerbo though. Bad news for Noah. What will happen here is, I think at the race there will be at least 3 safety cars, maybe 4, maybe like Belgium last time. I was FRL on 1 to 2. I totally forgot already. So we're gonna have a lot of high numbers. I'm taking into the 133s, mid-high, around that times. But we're gonna see that later.
Well, no, actually, the 33s were like the times in practice with the rain. Without rain, we can see 27, so 26.
Oh, 27. Oh, great. Then we go over.
Yeah, because we were watching the practice earlier. Yeah. It was raining. It's kind of lower. I mean, especially since after last year the track the layout is slightly different. All of the slow tunnel section is removed. About like 8 seconds of lap time were removed from the original layout. But I mean, it still remains probably the track with the highest time, not the highest race distance, but like in terms of lap time, in terms of time in the race, it is one of the longest. So it's I mean, I was feeling very tired when I usually race around here in Singapore. I don't know if you felt the same.
Not really, actually. I was Singapore is always, if I'm driving, I was good or I was insanely bad. But I never get tired of Singapore, especially in the fight of midfield. It's always funny because you can always have free space, or you can probably fuck up your teammate who's behind you, or you can have an annoying guy behind you and in front of you. There's also a story of Singapore, or you can be like Lewis Hamilton. Or was Lewis Hamilton? Yeah, it was George Russell. At 2023 was at the lockup at the straight, and that can also be another thing. So yeah, Singapore is full of surprises, but at times you can see we have 126.8. I'm thinking we go into the 124, so maybe high 25s. That I can do now, as say, but we have still something remain. And there's a lot of qualifiers left. So yeah, it can be full of surprise in Singapore. You never know what's gonna happen.
Well, yeah, you were indeed making a good point. Obviously, being the street track, it's the general advice: stay out of the walls. Obviously, but again, it is a track where it's not exactly easy to overtake. Like it is large for the standard of a street track, but at the same time you really need to find some good spots to overtake, because it is not easy. And obviously strategy a massive part, because this track it is very harsh on the rear tires. Like I'm to be honest, I might not be surprised if you see two stop strategies, because of just how much the rear gets worn out in the race distance.
You know what I wish for as a commentator in F1? To see the weather forecast. That would be so much
Oh
better.
yeah, that's been a thing that is missing for so many years now.
It will be so much better as a spectator than like as a driver. Because you know, as a driver you see the weather forecast, but as a commentator you just wait and see until the weather forecast is coming.
But we do have the effect of surprise if we don't know the report.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
that's true.
theoretically, we could ask the drivers, but at the same time, we just want to see whatever happens. We just want to be surprised, you know? Like, I would still prefer for the forecast to be available for the spectators, but still, let's take the, let's watch the bright side.
Yeah. Now, interesting about my race, I did in Singapore one time. The weather forecast was dry, and then at one lap, I think you do around 30 laps here, 29 about that. And I was driving, you know, I was good dry. Rain started to drop, and the rain was clearly on. It was safety car. I had two options. Or I could stay out and wait for the rain have to drop. Or I could go in and waited to the rain to stop. Well, the rain didn't stop at all. Around 28, 27, it was wet. So me pitting for wets, I was in the inters. So me pitting for wets. I go in front, okay? I was behind 3-4 people, and the restart of the safety car was chaotic. There was 3 people in front of me who crashed into each other, so that put me placed into P2. Well, I didn't cook at that P2, but I finished like P4, P3 since my left rear tire of my car was like 30%. It was very, very high tire wear at the wets at F123. But overall, that must be my best race ever I have had in a long time. But strategy is very important in this track, especially when rain falls. And of course, when it's all dry, then the strategy is good enough. And of course, the fuel level is always very important at this track too, since you're racing a lot of kilometers per hour, a lot of kilometers. So yeah, it's very important when you're racing, with you do your overtake, do your change or EOS mode, and of course safety cars saving your fuel level, but they won't be enough for the race to end. Maybe if you're too low on level view or too high. Too high is much better than too low, but too low is much better when you car feels light, and that's better for racing. But there's a chance that your fuel level just go out and just you're on the last lap. So also a strategy for that, but overall it's better to have a great strategy when it comes to you, and then you go racing with it and do best as possible on this track.
You know, with this conversation, you just reminded how many things the drivers need to remember at every single race. And it's a thing that with experience you almost start to do on your own. You start to do it automatically to remember all of this important and technical stuff. And in my opinion, that's a factor where champions are decided. Because if you go like out there without knowing much about your car, your setup, or your tires, you're pretty much just relying on luck. That's like probably it won't be ideal, and that's where the champions stand out at the end of the day. In the meanwhile,
Yeah, exactly.
shout out to Reese in the Twitch chat as he says, "My goats are back. We are back indeed, my man. Finally."
Yeah. After
And
2
also,
years.
just another thing, if you look at P15 right there, we see Max with a questionable position related to his lap time.
Now I gotta say, I never saw Angels in P2. Never.
But it's still Q1. Maybe it's because Gerbil
Yeah.
is not pushing as much yet. But I have to say, at the same time, Dom was looking very strong in practice. And still looking very good here in Q1 for the moment. 5 minutes left. I mean, 6 minutes left before we see. Let's see. Gerbil sandbagging. We've seen that before. We've been there before. Well, yes, it could pretty much be that, but we never know. As in the meanwhile, Allenby sets himself into P4 provisionally, and at the moment, just youngest Harv reserving for Red Bull, and U Division in the Alpine. No lap time set. Jawad, I'll call him Jawad, reserving for Ferrari with a slightly suboptimal time in P18. Rooster Memino Hormi definitely needs to improve, and then we have Max in P15. We still glitched the usual glitch where you DNF and your position gets all screwed up in the standings in qualifying.
Well,
I mean, it would be P14 realistically, so he's effectively losing only one position, but it could be more once the other drivers set the lap times, and it is frustrating when it happens.
Yeah, and we see Challenger. I'm watching Challenger. He has a Sector 1 purple. He is cooking. And then Cook and just a wall with his white tire. Yeah, that's not very good. There could be some loss of time, but I think he is stopping. Yeah, that's kidding. He is not stopping. He just goes on, and now goes into the most heartbreaking zone of whole Singapore, where you have the after turn 12, you go into that right-handed corner. Then you go second gear, maybe first gear if you want. You have to switch back. But it's definitely not on a sector 2 purple a full Challenger, but maybe on a high number for him. He's still going on. I don't exactly what turn is, but he goes into pits. There's lap open for him. Not so many drivers are in the lap. Mostly drivers are now retiring into the pits and thinking that's enough for today.
I mean, not for today, just for the moment, because Q1 you just need the top 15 anyway. And yes, many drivers are looking very confident in their access to the next qualifying session. Now, who is not looking confident are effectively the one who are momentarily out. Those are Green, Rooster, Youngest Harv, Jawad, and U Division. Still need to put some effort to try and go in Q2.
Yeah, the elevation goes at a late moment because he's quite a while in the pit. I think he comes a moment of 3 minutes and 50 seconds, maybe 40, since his track is quite, well, I'd rather say not small, but you have all the time you have in your life to complete this one lap. So main driver who has started 10 lap is gonna go out after a while, or they stay in. It could be also a thing. They are gonna start on P20 instead of doing a lap. But we're gonna see that later on. Elevation is still in the pits, sadly. I think someone's going out. That is Jalbert. Jalbert is going out. And we have Joe Brown into the out lap with fresh new softs, which is gonna begin his lap right now. We have Quaxo, he is not improving at all. And the rest is still in the pits. Great.
Rooster in the meanwhile is pushing and is He's looking good so far. He's about to finish sector 2, and we'll see in just a moment Delta. He was looking good before, and oh, never mind, 3 seconds down.
Yeah, he's not pushing at all. And he's one. Okay, well, good.
Yeah, 1 minute and a half. Let me see the energy, because if he has enough, he can try again. And it looks like he's trying to save some energy to try again. He's gonna have some wear on those softs, but I think he can still have another shot.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see that later on.
Actually, no, he's back into the pits. So he's not gonna make it. Rooster is giving up on his qualifying run, and that's P17 at best for the Haas driver. What about Green in the Alpine? Because he's improving by almost 4 tenths, which is looking good enough for P15 at least, so that might just save him for the next qualifying session. Jabba on the outlap, so we'll stay on board with the Alpine driver, because now he's with the DRS out of turn 13, and we see improving by 3 tenths, so lost a bit of time there. So he definitely needs to get a good sector 3 if he wants to get into the top 15 places, and we'll see in just a moment the straight that has been created last year in 2023, going into turn 16 and 17, now into the very fast double left-hander 18 and 19, crucial corners for the Alpine as he goes into P14, improving by 6 tenths, so he definitely had a good sector 3. He's good for now, but we have to wait, because Baby Hermie has also started another lap. Jawad has started, and yes, we just need to look out for these two, just for the V-Carb and for the Ferrari. And the Ferrari is improving by 2 tenths and a half. Definitely not enough, because the gap is 2 seconds, 3 seconds to P15. So we'll see for the rest of the lap.
Well, I have some information of Joe Brown. He has from sector 1 2 tenths up. Now I'm curious what his sector 2 is gonna be. His sector 2 is be 5 tenths. He has purple sector 2. Joe Brown has a purple sector 2 with 5 tenths up. Wow, that's crazy. Now, what is it gonna sector 2 and sector 3 gonna be? Is it gonna be higher than P12? I hope for him. I think maybe he's gonna be a P9, P8 maybe. He's gonna be now exit the double hander. He's gonna be P7 with 127.676. That's quite good. I thought it was gonna P8, P9 maybe, but he's 7. This is very nice done by Joe Brown. Now Baby Hermie goes down against the double left hander, and now across the line it is P13, which is not going for Green. Green is out.
Green is in. Green is in. He's in P15.
Oh, well, Green is lucky that he's going to be P15, and the rest is out, which is not quite good. Well, interesting Q1 already.
And that's done. Dom has the fastest lap after Q1 with Ail Jones right behind, Gerba Allen by Cam TS, Joe Brown, Falcon Riesen Kielander, Flanken Peter, Baby Hermie, Quaxel and Green, and the drivers knocked out of Q1 are Max, Rooster, Youngest Hav, Jawad and U-Division, who will start at the back of the grid in P20. In just 13 seconds we will see the start of Q2.
Yeah. Not great for the second Alpine driver. Well, it is what it is.
So now it's gonna be more interesting, because in Q2 it is where the old tires or new tires situation kicks in, because it depends on what tires you decided to use in Q1. If you're a top runner, you might be very comfortable using old tires, but like for the more midfield drivers, we might see them push on the fresh softs to try and get into Q3 and then put a banger of a lap in Q3 if they get through. So that's where things are more interesting. And we can see already 3 cars going out first, 4 cars actually. It's the to 5 cars, many cars going out on track already, and who's ahead of them all is the House of Allenby, who will start the first lap of Q2.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see who's gonna be the first one to set the first lap, and I think it's a Haas of Allenby. He's gonna be the first one to set the first half lap of the Singapore track. Well, just wait until the time comes out. Everyone is out the track except 2 more people. Dom already retired.
Dom has retired. We're not at. No, he didn't crash.
He
oh,
crashed.
yes! Yes, I missed that. Where is he?
Dom
oh, I've seen him. He hit the wall on the right side of turn 8.
Oh, that's very great.
Oh, I missed that on stream.
Yeah, I thought he retired in the pits, but nah, he didn't.
Yeah, because I didn't see the dot on the map standing still. Then I watched it. I mean, I saw it just after you said that, and yes, it is indeed a crash for Dom on the outlap of Q2, and that's gonna be P15 for him. It was looking very, very solid in Q1 in practice, and now just a costly mistake. I mean, pardon me the word, but it's a stupid mistake, honestly, because it's the outlap. You're not necessarily pushing there, and it just crashed anyway. So yeah, maybe he'll spice things up more. If he's looking that good in the pace, maybe we'll see him just cutting through the field from P15, and maybe he eventually catches up to the front runners. But we'll see about that.
Yeah, but we have now announcement. We have a second Sergio Perez here, aka Dom. I gotta say, he
well, there might be some speculation if you just said Perez and Dom is driving for the V carb instead of the Red Bull. So a bit of speculation there about Perez's future.
Yeah, Dom is Sergio Perez's future. Now we get confirmed. Well, Allenby has now is on his hot lap on the first one to set his lap on Singapore's second qualifying, and he's got a good one though. He does it very nicely. Does a very nice over the curbs, get the right amount of curbs he needed. Goes on turn 18, now on turn 19, and cross the line 127.9. Well, it's quite a good lap, but we need to stay and wait for the other drivers to arrive. Now the second driver to arrive is going to be Gerber at 127.3, quite high. Falcon is 35, he definitely made a mistake. TS got to 127.5. Cam 127.6, Falcon at 127.20, 127.629. This is 9 times slower than Cam. Quite interesting. Allenby goes at 127.947. Witt got 127.995. Aiden Jones goes Aiden Jones is cooking 127.099. Wow, we might have a different results than ever before, because I think Gerbo is not wake up than Aiden Jones. Aiden Jones is cooking in that Williams. You may got Gordon Ramsay to come over and make him some food for him that has so much weight loss. He just drives better than normal with someone who's gonna be spinning. I think that's Falcon, who has spun in the back of Allenby, as I saw. Yes, it is Falcon. I think someone is. Did I? Yeah, there is. Baby Hermie has spun again. Baby Hermie spun. We see a lot of spawns already at qualifying. The race everything started. Oh, that's not a good sign. for lap 1 as he got into the race. And I've seen a wing flying from Flank. There's a 5
And he gets a
grid
penalty. Collision with Quaxel, it was in the pit lane.
Yeah, in pit lane. Well, everyone brakes so hard in the pit lane. I mean, the pit lane is 60 comfort, 60 kph. Not even 80 or something. It's 60 kph, and even so hard a corner to the right and just wait. You just like going so hardly to the right to even go into the pit lane. It's fucked up, but it is what it is at Singapore. Can't blame.
Well, yeah, it is a tricky corner in the pit lane to get right. You don't have to push as much in qualifying, but in the race where even the pit stop phase matters a lot in terms of lap time, and you need to maximize the pit entrance as much as possible, it is quite risky and quite easy to crash there if you're not careful enough. So, yeah, it might be a crucial point in the race if someone like crashes or loses control in a pit lane entrance, or maybe just doesn't brake enough and gets a penalty, which are even bigger this game because it's a 10-second penalty if you speed in a pit lane, even by just 1 kph. 10-second penalty for you, and that compromises you quite a lot. So as it stands, in 8 minutes left, Adrian Jones is currently the fastest car on track, and who is currently out of Q2 are Baby No Hermie and Quaxel. Falcon doesn't have a true lap time set, just 8 seconds off pole position. Green is pushing right now, and then Dom will start from P15 following his crash.
Now, you know what's interesting about the pit lane? Now you mention it. I was racing, and this is the most weirdest thing I ever done. Now, let me tell you something. I was racing in Australia, perfectly into the pit lane, exactly 80 kph. You know what happened? Instead of 80 kph, which is a speed line limiter, the max speed you can get. I was exactly 80 kph, 10-second penalty for exactly going 88 kph. 80. I was thinking, EA, is the speed limit to 80 kph instead of 79 kph we need to go instead of goddamn 80 kph? It was weird in this game when you go like exactly perfectly 80 kph instead of 60 kph in the pit lane. It's weird, but can't blame it though. Sometimes EA doesn't want you to have the exactly right kph in the pit lane when it sends you go 80 or 60 kph. It's weird, but it is what it is.
I mean, if you go 80, it still counts good. Like what might have happened? Like if you put the pit speed limiter much before the pit lane, like much before the speed line limiter, so you go very careful at exactly 80, it counts it as good. Like maybe what happened might be desync, like if you're braking at the perfect spot, so just that you hit 80, like at the exact moment you go over the line, like that's maybe where desync kicks in, and you have a glitch where the game where like you go 80 but you actually don't, and the game just says you're going 81 or something, and the desync kicks in and you get a penalty.
Yeah, it is what it is. It is EA. Still EA, but I can blame them. I can. It's just a game, but 10 seconds is very much for a single speed in the pit lane. But okay. Let's wait for F1 2025 and see what happens. This speed lane is still 10-second time penalty if you speed it over, but let's wait. But an hour beautiful qualifying. Nothing is happening very much except Canada is into the P3, which is very nice done by the Mercedes, and then TS is on P4. P5, Lankoenig is P6, he retired. He's already scared of his 5 grid place penalty. Falcon is on the lap again. I think. I don't know.
No, Falcon just improved. He was 8 seconds off and then improved up into P7. Who just improved as well is Quaxel, now currently in P10 with his last lap. And Allen by provisional pole position. I mean, it's not pole position, but still goes fastest.
Yeah.
For the meantime.
Well, man, that is very good. That is very good. I never thought that drivers were so good at Singapore than compared to the other tracks. Somehow, like the worst drivers in Sunday League or whatever are just amazing on Singapore. And then if you drive like let's say in Monaco, they are track shit. They are just shit on the track. But when they play like a single track, let's say Spain, they are just God mode. And then if you drive on like Bahrain, they are just bullshit. It is weird. For now, when I drive Singapore, I'm just good. When I play like Jeddah, I'm just shit. It's weird. It's weird. Something just attracts you that you are super good at some track. Just like Singapore, where you have very much room to like do not overtake, but you have like a greater, the greatest set time lap. Then compared to Austria, which is very small, but you're just not good at it. But you think you're good, but you're actually not. It's weird, but maybe because you practice a lot, then if you not practice at track. But it's still weird.
Oh, but the situation with Austria is that there is a very big chance of ERS and DRS trains to form, both in multiplayer and in offline races with the AI. EA said they're currently working on a patch, although it's not exactly always the most reliable source of information we can get. But yeah, still, as you said, there are many drivers who can be in their prime at certain tracks and then just be completely off the pace in another track. Maybe even it could be between different tracks or very similar tracks. It's just it's very different for every driver. It's a very subjective thing when you also talk about driving styles and all of that stuff. But in my opinion, it's just a little fun thing to spice up the races. So you can see like the skill gaps getting bigger or smaller from race to race, and I think it's just fun to see. But anyway, we will focus on the bottom 4, Peter, Green, Joel and Baby No Hermie, who are fighting for their access to Q3. Quaxel is currently safe, but any one of these drivers below can overtake him. Joel Brown just started the lap now, going around turn 5 actually, and now turn 6 with the DRS ending sector 1, improving by slightly, just 42 thousandths. It's not gonna be enough for P12 even. Green has retired in the pits. He's not improving. He's not going out on track.
Ooh.
I don't see Green on track. I think he retired on track. I think he retired on track. We can see the blue dot.
Green
yeah.
Green is retired.
He retired on track for some reason. I'm not sure what's the reason behind it, but that's indeed qualifying over for the Alpine driver. So it's gonna be P12 at best, and we'll see in just a moment. Now Joe Brown just ended sector 2. Now he's about to approach turn 16 and 17 under braking here, about to finish sector 3 and about to see if it's good enough for that top 10 as he goes around there. Ooh! I don't know what happened there. It just went completely straight. Just didn't brake at all after turn 18.
Oh, that's not very good news.
It looks like it's stuck. I'm honestly not sure what happened there. Quaxel Quaxel, yeah, he's not pushing. Yeah, that's qualifying down for him. Still currently in P10, but now he can be under attack by Peter and maybe the Hermie. Actually, no, maybe the Hermie invalidated. He's not gonna go higher than P14. So right now, the only driver who still has a chance to go to Q3 is Peter, going around the hairpin of turn 13. He just need a ever so slightly margin of improvement, which is not there because he's down by 3/10, so he needs to get a very good turn 16 and 17 and also 18 and 19 if the Sauber drivers wants to be in Q3. Maybe if he made a mistake here, he can correct it, and we'll see in just a moment. Going round turn 19, and no, it's not enough. Down by 2/10, he does not go to Q3. Quaxel in the Aston Martin gets access to Q3. It's great news for Aston Martin, which was able to scrounge up some points around Azerbaijan with not many drivers attending. Now Aston Martin still in last with just 5 points, and Sauber ahead with 13 points. So yeah, Aston Martin in the top 10, it's a good chance for them to get points. So Q2 is done. Allenby is the fastest and Aiden just behind. Then we have Falcon, Riz, Gerbal, Kienander, TS, Cam, Flanken and Quaxel. Out of Q2 are Peter, Green, Joe Brown, Baby No Hermie and Dom, starting from P15. And now Q3 is about to start, just 12 minutes on the clock, and with many drivers being up there on pace, I think we're off for an exciting fight for pole position.
Yep, there's gonna be a very different result we likely to see. Normally we see Gerbo at pole, but maybe this time is Aiden Jones at pole, or maybe Kellinger, but it is a full 12 minute Q3, and we still need to wait who's gonna be pole, who's gonna be professional pole, or who's gonna be P2 and P3. That's mostly what I'm looking for, and I think my prediction is gonna be for this QG is Gerbo at P2, Aiden Jones at, no wait, let me evaluate. Gerbo P1, Aiden Jones P2, Alibi P3. That's gonna be my prediction for QG.
Well, Allenby was looking very strong. Yeah, I have to agree. The thing with Haas as a team, like they're not constantly up there at the front, but sometimes they just put one heck of a performance in certain races, and suddenly are able to challenge near the front, and then maybe the week later they're fighting for barely P12. It's not exactly consistent between them. But it's always nice to see when they're actually able to fight for top position. And Allenby might be looking forward to represent Haas in that matter as we now approach the first laps of Q3. And Allenby will be indeed the first driver to set a Q3 lap here around Singapore. So we'll stay on board with the Haas driver as we wait for him to complete the outlap. And then we're off to a commentary of a qualifying lap here around Singapore.
What will be a very, very nice race though, and of course the qualifying. I'm gonna keep an eye on Aiden Jones because I'm quite interested in him. He's not doing his outlap, and Alibi is going now into the turn. Once again,
it's 16 and 17.
16 and 17, which is...
Yeah, about to start now, warming up his tires, now going around 18 and 19, hot lap is already enabled, DRS just before the starting line, and now into turn 1, which is followed closely by turn 2, taking a lot of curb, and now watch out for the braking into 13, and watch out for the traction as well, very crucial corner to get right, into 4, and now into braking of 5, into 4th gear, and bit of a slide also a slight brush on the wall on the exit, but still it looked like a very good exit. Now ending sector 1 with a 26.4, and now taking lots of curb through turn 7 and now 8 in third gear, and now trail braking into 9th, still in third gear, and watch out for the exit. Now that's the corner where George Russell crashed last year, but Allenby doesn't crash, and now he goes around turn 11, 12, the hardest section of the entire track. Now the hairpin of turn 13, going all the way down to second gear with a bit of a slide on the exit, and then instantly on the DRS, ending sector 2, 1 minute and 2 seconds and 9 tenths. Now watch out for track limits on the exit of 14, and now flat out into 15. This is where the tunnel section was removed. Now it's just a straight into the braking of turn 16 and 17, still taking quite a lot of curb very close to the wall, and now into 18 and 19, almost flat out for the Haas driver. It's a 27.5. I think that might be beaten by Falcon 27.1. What about Gerbal? Because no, actually Gerbal has invalidated. We see the Williams of Aiden Jones just slightly off pole position, 1/10 and 25 thousandths. Cam gets provisional pole position, 26.7, separating Falcon by 4/10 of a second, and now the closest to the finish line. Gerbal is invalidated, but he will start another lap right now with worn tires, so his lap time can fall off. Quaxel still on the outlap, and Reese is about to finish also his first lap. He's quite low on ERS, so his deploy might actually lose him some time in the last parts of the lap, but we'll see in just a moment around 18 and 19 what it's gonna be compared to his teammate. It's slightly faster, just enough to get into P3, but still Cam is looking very strong as he stands, with 4/10 between him and Falcon. We also have the Sauber of Flanken now going around the braking of 16 and 17. We'll see where the Kick Sauber driver can put himself for this first lap of Q3. And what's it gonna be? It's gonna be P2! Flanken looking very good as well, 27.1, reducing that gap from pole position by just 3/10, and now approaching the line. There are these drivers on the in-laps, and Gerbal with some traffic going purple in sector 2, and might have got some slipstream from the Mercedes around turn 13 and 15, and now about to finish with a big slide, taking a lot of curb on the inside. They might have compromised him a bit. What does Gerbal do around the last corner? It is still P2, just 1/10 of pole position, and now no driver are pushing. Quaxel is into the pits now on the outlap, no lap time set, and at the moment Cam is on provisional pole position, and it's 6 minutes left on the clock.
Wow, what an amazing qualifying already. Jeroboam is not going to be P1. Maybe he is. Let me. So 1/10 behind Cam, so he can definitely be P1. Aiden Jones is falling off. Alibi is falling off. The F1 is a little bit falling off in Q3, but things can still round around. So things can change here. So we're waiting for the guys to do a lap again and see what's gonna happen at Q3. Now, I don't know if I can remember, but did you ever see Quaxel into Q3?
Quaxel into Q3?
This might be his first time.
Probably. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
Yeah, me either. We see him next.
I mean, I remember seeing an Aston Martin in the top 10 somewhere. I just can't remember if it was the race of qualifying.
This might be the first time I ever saw Quaxel into Q3, because he is only falling off Q1 or Q2, but I never saw him in Q3. Or did
Yeah.
I?
Now that I think about
Huh.
it, it might actually be his first time. I didn't notice that. So we see where can he put Aston Martin on the grid, and around sector 1 it's at 26.6, which is very good after sector 1.
Well, he's cooking. Hold up. Wait, it's in 26.1 for Cam, and then it's a little bit far now. But how does it count as in purple sector? But
I mean,
it's quite close.
but if he still stays like just 5 tenths off Cam, it is still good enough for P4 if he
Yeah.
maintains that gap, if it doesn't get worse. We see in just a moment, because now into the 1 minute and ending sector 2, 1 minute 02.8. Yes, that might still be about 4 to 5
Yeah.
tenths off.
It's quite a lap for him, though.
I don't think he will be P10 though. I think he will still
No.
put himself into the middle of this Q3 grid, and we see right now
Imagine-
across the finish line. Oh, it's still P10. Never mind.
Just imagine
27.5.
Just imagine getting him pole. It would be crazy. Rocks or pole, that would be very crazy, but this time it's...
Oh, watch out for Aiden just because he's already out on track, and he's already setting a first purple sector, improving by 2 tenths and a half.
Wow. This might be my prediction. This might be my prediction.
Actually, no, he's weaving quite a lot. Is he pushing?
Ah, is he... Wait.
Oh no, he
No, he's
abandoned the
not.
lap.
Why? Why, man? Okay.
Maybe he might have made a mistake like somewhere he didn't get a
Yeah.
corner as up to, or maybe he's just doing an out lap, a double out lap on purpose to try,
Alright.
maybe to try like to burn fuel and make the car as light as possible, which can be crucial because indeed now we are approaching the last lap of Q3. It's just 2 minutes left, and Aiden Jones will indeed be the first driver to set the last lap. Like it's gonna be his last run here in Q3. Now currently just 23 thousandths behind his teammate, but he was definitely looking faster than that in the earlier qualifying sessions and practice as well. TS not getting into his way coming out of the pits, so Aiden Jones going around turn 4 and 5 again, now into sector 1. Onto the DRS, flat out into turn 6. We see, does he still improve? No, just 35 thousandths. Like he's improving less than he was improving in the
Yeah.
double out lap.
That's quite crucial. I think if he continues his lap with the 210, it would be much better for him than with 2D5. That's quite crucial.
Yeah, he definitely needs to find a lot more time into the more technical section, like the one he's going around now, into the hairpin of 13. I saw a bit of a lockup there. I'm not sure if that's a glitch or if he actually did that, but oh, never mind, he's improving by 5 tenths, purple sector
Okay.
2, so Aiden Jones can challenge for pole position if he finds even more time in sector 3. Despite the not exactly great sector 1, he's going very fast here around Singapore, and it's gonna be, I think, just a matter of time before we see that Williams at least on provisional pole position, 126.6, improving by 6 tenths, but it's no guarantee that he will stay. Cam is just 50 thousandths behind, so he's definitely not gonna give up, although he's not improving after sector 1. Falcon has actually TS has just started his last run. Now closest to the finish line is Gerbal, who is not improving, just 13 thousandths down, and he actually improves in the last sector, 26.5, 84 thousandths between him in P1 and Aiden Jones in P2, but it's no guarantee that Aiden Jones will stay in P2. There is the Haas of Allenby. Rees has ended qualifying, currently in P5. Allenby demotes Rees to P6. Allenby sets himself into P4. There is a McLaren across the finish line. Falcon in P4, demoting Allenby into P5. Very close gaps. Now Quaxel not improving, so he will stay in P10. Then the two Mercedes, Cam does not get pole position and sets an identical lap time to Aiden Jones. They have the exact same lap time, but Cam stays ahead. And now there is the Sauber of Flanken into P4. A lot of drivers fighting for P4 here. Falcon in P5, Allenby in P6, Reese in P7, Kielander in P8. TS is still pushing, improving by currently 4/10 of a second around turn 16 and 17. Now we'll see in just a moment where the McLaren puts himself. Around 19 and 19, what's it gonna be? It's gonna be just P7 for TS. Lost a bit of time in the last sector. So Reese in P8, Kielander in P9, Quaxo in P10. I think that's done. These are the official qualifying results. Gerbal is officially on pole position. Obviously, taking advantage of Noah missing races. And the funny thing is, just a few rounds earlier, it was Noah on the championship lead, taking advantage of Gerbal not racing. Now it's the complete opposite. Gerbal building quite a gap in these recent races, and actually Cam didn't set the identical lap time. It was just 1,000 faster than Aiden Jones, which is good enough to secure the second spot of the front row, which means that Aiden Jones is in P3 and Flanken in P4. It's a Swedish third row with Falcon and Allenby, TS in P7, Reese in P8, Kielander in P9, and Quaxel securing a top 10 start for Aston Martin. And that's it, Gerbal on pole position. Once again, we are used to see him there on the front row ahead of everyone, but as always, there is no guarantee that we stay, because everything can happen in the race, and it's gonna be very, very exciting.
Well, my prediction is reversed. I thought Aiden Jones was going to be one, but it's Joe will be one. I never thought that Cam is going to be P1. I mean P2. That's crazy. Because I thought like, oh, Cam is going to be like P4, P5, but nah, it's reversed. But yeah, it's Cam on P2 and Aiden Jones P3. Now it's not going to be sadly any rain, which is quite sad. But it's always dark in Singapore. Maybe it can rain. You never know.
We never know indeed, but we will see in just these 50 minutes of racing. The 5 red lights are on, and finally it's lights out, and away we go here in Singapore for this full grid. And there are already a lot of position changes. Gerbal keeps the lead going into turn 1, and Aiden Jones tries to attack Cam, but he still does not have enough momentum to go around the outside. So this top 3 currently the same as it was of the starting grid. And let's see the tires, because the top 9 is completely on mediums. So just Babin Hermie is in P10 on the hards, and many moves around the back. There's the Sauber of Pitzer trying to go on the inside of Green, who is now in P12, and now Max going around the outside actually of the Alpine of Green, but they are still fighting wheel to wheel. The Aston Martin has the faster medium tires and is still going side by side, but no, it looks like he has to back out going into turn 10 and 11. And let's see the position changes after this first half of the first lap, because the top 7 is as it was before. Flanken going into P8. Babin Hermie with a very good start, because he gained actually 4 positions, and Dom is down into P19. It's a terrible start for the V-Carb. He was in P15, now he lost 4 positions. Flanken and Kielander now fighting for P8 between the Mercedes and the Sauber. Also Peter and Quaxel exchanging positions, and now Peter is up into P11. The two Ferraris are not having a good time into P17 and 18. Now Green reclaiming P12 out of the Aston Martin. Oh, contact between the two Aston Martin's teammates as Max rear ends Quaxel, but there is no spin, but there might have been some wing damage. Yes, it is heavy wing damage for Max, who gets overtaken who actually overtakes the youngest half in P15. And let's go to the front, because now Adrian Johnson Cam fighting for position side by side into turn 8. Cam gets P2, but Adrian Johnson still tries to hold it. There is some wheel banging, and Cam still defends that P2 very brilliantly from the Williams of Adrian Jones, who is now in P3, and we are already in lap 2, and Cam might be losing DRS to the Red Bull of Jebel, and this can be crucial.
Yeah, very nice fighting already at the start of lap 2. There's a lot of fighting going ahead. I was watching the back also, and now I'm fighting with the Baby Remy and Green. Baby Remy has lots of players into P12, Green into P11. He is almost into points, and seems like Jumbo is very nice done. They have Elevis and Dom ghosting. I don't know if they left. It could be they left because they're ghosting. So those two are left the session. And now we have a lot of fight. Croxel into the pits. He has wind damage instead of Max. Yeah. No, just kidding. He has no wind damage. He's going to change tires already at left 3. So Croxel into the pits. And we have him fighting again with Aiden Jones and Cam. Aiden Jones is catching up with Cam. Jumbo is still staying in front. And let's see the back and then fighting there. Seems like the fighting isn't really on for some people, but it's Joe Brown versus Wooster. They are quite close to each other, but not as close for who fighting. Seems like the group is a little bit getting that gap. But
and Baby Herbie is going very slowly. He's down into P17. I'm not sure what happened there, but he's going very slowly. I think he might have got wing damage.
He might.
We cannot see because we have this overview from the chopper.
Yeah, yes, he has wind damage.
Massive damage.
Massive damage, and he's struggling for the grip. Already,
visual safety car, a wing that's flying, and as Jebel has wing damage. Jebel is into the pits and got a track limit penalties. I'm not sure what happened there, but in the span of 3 seconds, Jebel is into the pits with wing damage, with a track limits penalties, and with a wheelchair safety car. The Red Bull has been demoted all the way down to P15, it seems.
Well, from P15 all the way to P14 is now. From P14 all the way to P1 is going to be a massive task for him.
Oh, it's a terrible restart for a lot of drivers. Quaxel gets a drive-through penalty. The two Aston Martins are once again into the bottom of the grid, the back of the pack in P19 and 20. Joe Brown and youngest have fighting for P10 for those last points already on this lap 4, and slight contact between the front wing of the Red Bull and the rear wing of the Ferrari. Joel Brown still trying to defend P10, and Dom and New Division are still ghosting through each other for some reason. But now, after this, I'm not sure if it was an incident or a self-inflicted mistake. Gerbal down all the way into P16 and come into the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix, now feeling the pressure of Aiden Jones, who is trying everything he can to stay as close to him as possible. He does have the DRS, but so does Falcon. I think it might not be long before we see these positions being exchanged.
Yeah, the positions Gerber into P17, which is not very great. And we have the front runners are currently having big gap. Seems like the whole field has a big gap for quite of people. So the racing won't be so much on like before. But Gerber back into P15. He had to make a work up all around P15 all the way to P1. But he can have a big undercut for other people. Because he is fast. Maybe let me get a 10-second time penalty for speed in the pit lane. But Gerber is also 3-second time penalty. And,
oh, he restarted in the pits.
Yeah.
It's a DNF for the V-Carb.
Now, Gerber has a 3-second time penalty. But he is quite fast. But will he be within the 3 seconds and turf those 3 seconds to be in a P1 spot? Now this is a massive test for him. I'll drive out there, Joe Brown. Joe Brown is retired on track.
No, he's disconnected. Oh wait, oh yes, he retired on track.
Well, Joe Brown is retired on track and left the session. Okay, well, that's not a driver out. Aaron Jones is P1, and AJ McLaren also.
And virtual safety car. Max is crashed. Max is into the wall of turn 12.
How is the virtual safety car when someone is off the wall? Okay, that's weird. That's weird, but okay.
We have already 2 virtual safety cars. Oh, Joe Brown. Okay, I know what happened. Joe Brown disconnected, and once again, the game makes him DNF.
Oh my God. Well, that's not a good sign for Joe Brown. That's worse for him. Ouch.
We have already 3 DNFs in 6 laps, 2 virtual safety cars, drive-through penalties, track limits penalties, and Quaxor as well is crashed, going deep in turn 9. Disaster for Aston Martin, double DNF.
Oh. It's no safety car, so everything is fine. So yeah, we continue on racing with 0 safety cars and 2 virtual safety cars. Now the battle within the top 3 are Aiden, Cam and Falcon. I wonder if they do an amazing battle, but I think it is. Now with Cam with US, not enough for to overtake Aiden Jones, which is quite sad. Now we have double kick Salvers into P6 and 7, and getting to make the way up to attack Peter from P8, the battle for P7. And Java is into the P13, gonna keep an eye out of him, but he has a massive undercut if he saves his tires. But it's an 31 lap, 31 laps way, so he needs to go well. The sector 2, and there it is one of the LP members.
Green went deep into turn 8, into the runoff area, and he's in P9.
Well, they look good. And the second Red Bull we have is in the points. The youngest half. He is in the points of P10. He's now battling for P9. The rest of the field is a little bit further up. The gaps are coming close right now, but
Green has wing damage.
Ooh. Green has wing damage. Well, not exactly a massive one, but it is an quite a big wing damage. But we still continue on waiting. Front runners, not necessarily happening anything. Just a 2-man, and it's great to be tied in the pits. Well, that's not good.
We have already
Green out.
5 DNFs into 8 laps.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
Singapore is not for everyone.
No, it's the higher plays up for the P12 and P15 from Wiz and Gerbil. Gerbil almost already in the P10. Well, that's how life easy is if you're a fast driver of the Sunday League.
And Falcon tried to make a move around the outside of rear locking for the McLaren. He was trying to make an overtake around 14 on Cam as he had an overspeed out of the hairpin, but rear locking saved it, luckily kept it outside of the wall. And it does look like Falcon is kind of sliding and struggling, and Cam as well is almost out of the air. Ooh, massive wiggle around the last corner, but he still kept it on track. But now these two risk of losing the DRS to the leader.
Well, Angel is still the lead off the top, and Cam is second still, and Falcon still third. It's a beautiful day for McLaren from P3 and P4, but the car of the House of Alibi goes for the out inside and takes P4 from TS, and this makes him the Haas higher place up. Now he is 5 seconds behind Falcon, but he still can make a lot of seconds up from the Haas to P3, but he needs to finish off TS from P5, and was from behind. There's not really a better going except for P11 and P12, P13. Those three are battling, and the rest are battling too. They're mostly a 3-man train, some 2, but it's in a little bit spread up field right now in Singapore.
Gerbil in the meanwhile in his comeback drive, now currently into P11, outside of DRS of Rooster, just ahead of him, now making his way through the traffic of Jawad and Riz as well, not exactly in an optimal position, so these two definitely need to make up, definitely need to cover a lot of distance, but Gerbil very quickly now, he's almost back into the DRS of Rooster. So his comeback is not over at all. Now crucially Cam is just outside of the 1 second gap, and it's raining! I am seeing some very light drops of rain, and Falcon has also made the move. We are into lap 10, and yes, it is officially raining. It might be soon until we see drivers going back into the pits for Inters.
Wow! Now this is a mind game of gambling and strategy. Now this can be fully wet ways like practice, or this can be just like rain and it can be some Inters, or it can be the rain can be good enough for dries for slicks to stay on, and then later then it's gonna be very like rain for the Inters, but the rain isn't dropping enough for Inters. Slicks are very safe right now, but your slicks are going to be struggling because the rain has dropped and the rain is not enough for Inters right now. Later maybe on, but the rain is starting to drop, and around 10-15 minutes you'll see the difference of the rain, and then you can decide you're gonna be Inters or stay on the slicks. But for now, it's just slicks, because the rain isn't doing so much impact right now.
It's completely unpredictable in these conditions, because everyone is obviously still staying out. The track is not wet enough, but I am still seeing quite a lot of wiggles, and obviously TS and Alibi fighting with some wheel banging there into turn 8, as the TS is trying to defend P4 from the Haas. Not sure if their contact was because of the rain or just because of battling. Java is into the pits and he's going. Oh, Rooster is into the wall.
Who's into the wall? That is a massive front wing damage. But no further safety car, which is very good for the drivers. Gerber already up to P9. Gerber is cooking.
They are sliding quite a lot.
Now, if I can remember, Gerber is quite fast on the wets. If I can remember, there's one race who had a full race, full wets. If I can remember, Sunday League, he was one of the fastest. But things like Aiden Jones is doing up well into the first place, already 1.5 seconds ahead of Falcon, and Falcon is 1.4 seconds ahead of Cam. So this is great for Falcon and great for Aiden Jones and great for Cam because Gerber is not gonna cook. Gerber is not gonna cook anymore.
It's already 6 seconds of penalties for the Red Bull. Now Allenby with the overtake on CS just before turn 7. DRS is still enabled, so the track isn't officially wet. But now it's completely unpredictable to try and understand what's gonna be the lap to pit. If they ever gonna, even if they are gonna pit, because like, let's think that this rain will not get worse and it will just go away. But actually I might have to cancel what I said, because Rooster is now on inters and I'm starting to see the rain drops on the track as well. Falcon is sliding a lot, he was almost into the wall, and everyone is having a lot of snap oversteer on corner exit. It might be soon to see the top runners back into the pits.
Yeah, I wanted to say
Java into the pits. Aiden is pitting. So is Falcon. So is Cam. Yes, this is definitely the right time for inters.
Yeah, Rain has started the job, water jobs on the track, and everyone's going to inters, the safest option for now. But we haven't seen a single focus safety car this race. Quite fun, but this time may it happen that we're gonna see a safety car, a full curse one, but we have to see and wait what's going to happen. Gerber goes in, Wiz goes in, Youngest Half goes in, Ever going in, except the two goes in cars of Earth Vision and Dom. Those are still to be going.
There were some double stacks into the pit lane. I think Sauber and Red Bull had to lose some time between their two drivers. Now, well, apart from the two AIs of W Division, which, I mean, funnily enough, if everyone keeps retiring, the AI might actually score points.
Yeah, that's true. Now I'm wondering, if you have 6 seconds of penalty, and you're in a safety car, I think the 6 seconds goes into 0.
No, the 6 seconds just stay. Like, even the safety car will be the last thing Gerber will want, because with the safety car you're all bunched up together. You cannot build a gap, and a gap is exactly what Gerber needs to try and cover those 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And Riz is putting also a lot of pressure behind him. He's all over his gearbox.
Well, it could be a massive one for Gerber, but if he stays in the points, that's good enough for him. But maybe not enough, but DRS is indeed disabled. And
the track is officially declared wet by race control.
Yeah. So we have now a little bit of a split up field. Not many drivers are battling. Many drivers are building the gap for themselves. So yeah, I see a lot of water drops right now. A lot of water drops on the track. Maybe this goes into wets. We don't know. Maybe just give the water 10 to 15 minutes, and then you see it wets or just enters. Gerbil gets again
9 seconds now. Yeah, he's not getting points.
Maybe he decided to get 10 seconds of penalty, and then Safety car comes in, he pits, and then clear up all those penalties.
No, the track limits penalties, you cannot serve them under safety car.
Now that is, wow, that
yeah,
is
track limits penalties, they just stay with you, which is unrealistic to real life.
Yeah. Well, this is gonna be this is gonna be the most hardest day for Gerbil. 9 seconds of penalties.
Yeah, he had a great chance to extend this gap even further from Noah, but now it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Let's watch Falcon though, because when the rain first came, he was dropping out of the RS, but now as it looks like Falcon is gaining a lot of time during the corners. Falcon might actually be faster than Aiden in these wet conditions. The RS is disabled, so he's gonna have to try and overtake him the old-fashioned way, with just the overspeed, or just maybe using the energy from the ERS. We'll see. 5 tenths now separating to them. Falcon using the overtake, trying to get close as much as he can, but he cannot lunge it from this back. It's way too dangerous to do it from here, so he just needs to wait. But it does indeed look like Falcon has more pace, and Aiden Jones is also sliding more than Falcon.
Yeah. I wonder if they all have dry setup or they have wet setups. One of the two, because dry setups are good enough for this weather. It's not really like you need to be wet setup for this, really.
Well, the thing is, you choose to have a dry or wet setup depending on how much race distance you have on the wet. But at the same time, you said that there isn't much difference between the dry and wet setup here in Singapore, because a dry setup still needs a lot of downforce, which you always want to have in the wet. So you already have that in the dry. So like I imagine that maybe they have the wings set as if it was dry, but then the rest of the setup, like suspensions, tire pressures, camber and all of that stuff, maybe they set it to wet, so that they could have the perfect compromise between the dry qualifying and the race being half dry and half wet.
Yep. Well, the rain is still on Inters. I don't see any sprays, so this is quite good. Is there any battles going on really? No, it's basically just...
It's more of a chase, it's more of a chase between Falcon and Aiden Jones. Falcon still, to me, it still looks like he's faster, but he still needs to eventually find a place to overtake. Reason meanwhile he gets a track limit penalty, so you know, I didn't think actually I will see this many track limits penalties.
On Singapore, no, never. I never saw so many track limits on Singapore. I mean, it is raining though. I mean, the amount of track limits you get on Singapore is quite easy. But on the other hand, it is quite easy to also stay away from the white lines, because you have so much room within the track limits and the track. So, but you need also the right amount of curb at the rein to have maximum grip also. So yeah, it is hard to get no penalties on Singapore, but it's also easy to get penalties on Singapore. It's basically just balance. It's just 50-50. But depends, of course, how you drive at Singapore. Maybe you go very close to the white lines to if that is your driving style, or you're gonna play it safely and stay away from the white lines and go for the apex and stay on the racing line. If that's the driving style, but it's different. Every driver has a different racing style on Singapore and how they drive really.
So at the moment, it doesn't look like the situation is updating. Um, Now it is not important to stay into the 1 second gap because DRS has been disabled for quite a lot now, and again Falcon still is trying to hang it behind Aiden. Aiden defending the lead as best as he can, and Falcon trying to find a gap somewhere. Like every single possible gap is trying to think where he can actually overtake. And also I think we don't know if he does have any rush to do it now, because it also depends on whether the rain is gonna stay or not.
Yeah, I think the rain is gonna stay for a little while, but I don't want to say the rain is going to start to end. But lap 18, you never know what's gonna happen. But I don't think the rain is gonna be any worse than this. I think it will stay this for a couple of hours, and then the rain just ends and just goes for dry. So yeah, but it's too early to predict. Let's just wait for a couple of hours, for a couple of laps, and then we know when the rain is ending or it stays like this.
And we have 14 laps to find out if this situation is gonna change or not. Let's watch Gerber, because now he's alongside Kelander, now going into turn 7. Yeah, very easy move. Not much you can do with the overspeed. Now the Red Bull is up into P8, which is not gonna matter because it's gonna be P10 when the penalties kick in.
Well, still in the points though. He's still in the points.
Oh yeah, but it's 1 point.
Yeah, it's quite sad.
Sauber is doing a good job because they're defending P6 and P7. I mean, it's still very off from who is it? Alpine in front of them, I think. Yes, Alpine is in front of Sauber. I mean, they still have a 40 points gap between the two of them, between Sauber and Alpine, but still good enough. It's still something. Still useful points for the Sauber compared to Alpine scoring 0 points at this stance. It's 14 points for Sauber, so to try and close the gap just a little bit to eventually see if they can fight for P8 in Constructors. Mercedes Racing Balls actually are quite close. Mercedes just barely above, VCARB in Mercedes in P6. And also crucially, after the last race in Belgium, Red Bull built quite a gap from Ferrari in the lead. And this gap is, yes, it's gonna go up. Ferrari is scoring 0 points, while Red Bull is scoring barely 1.
Well, talk about this praise on those Inters. You can see the praise, but it's very lightly. I have a feeling that the weight is gonna be worse than this, but it's hard to say that the weight is gonna be worse than this. But its praise is very lightly. You can see if you would drive on board, you can watch behind.
Actually, I think it's getting slightly bigger than it was before.
Yeah, it's tough to say it's gonna be worse or not, but we just need to wait. Because I don't know, if it's gonna be worse, then it's tough to say. It's too early to predict, but we will see that later on. But you can see already the sprays coming out from the cars.
Indeed.
I don't know. it might get worse, because the rain is starting to drop hardly right now. I don't know. The track is wet. That's for sure. It's wetter than before. The rain is starting to drop. I think the rain is gonna be heavier than normal.
It
That's
might
my
actually be, because now
yeah.
I'm seeing drivers sliding even more than they were before. Look at Peter on board. Peter is chasing TS and is sliding all over the place.
Yeah. Well, I made a good call. Okay, so the rain is gonna be heavier, but will be heavy enough for the wets, since we have now 12 laps of driving. That's a question we need to ask. Everyone is on 6 laps. Now, this might be a good thing for Gerbo to hide, because he is already behind Flankenkönig. He might get into, if he wants, if he stays on P4, he finishes P7, if he wants, if he does his job. Well, why does the rain look like it's going to wet? Because the rain is slightly is slightly getting bigger and going little by little heavier. I'm watching Gerber up on board, and I see Flankenkönig struggling for grip, and Gerber is doing it very easily though. He is calming down his car. He's doing a very good job with the rain. Yeah, this is gonna be a very good wet rain. As you can see from Gerber on board, the rain is definitely getting harder. But we need to see and wait for later on.
Oh, there is some contact between Reese and Kielander going around turn 4. Reese was attempting the inside, and he did eventually pull the inside, but then there was some contact. And in the meanwhile, Gerbal now finally overtaking Flanken, so he can finally try and build a bigger gap to then attack Peter in front.
He has 12 seconds of penalty. I never saw Gerbo having so much
Oh,
penalty.
now it's 12!
Oh, what a day for Gerbo. What a day. Yeah, this might go into wets. It's confirmed. We're going into wets. Because this weather is not looking good at all.
Yeah, it's looking very, very heavy to me. But
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose that the sign that tells you it's time for full wets, it's when you see puddles on the track, which I'm not seeing right now. But at the same time, I'm just seeing everyone slide so much, which granted, it could be for tire wear as well, but still, it does look like the rain is getting progressively worse. Peter is trying everything he can to try and overtake TS. Falcon as well, same deal between him and Aiden Jones, but no overtakes are actually taking place. It's just chasing for now.
Well, maybe there is puddles on track, but they are creating. They're going very slowly. But we still need to wait off. And a second, I'm curious how many penalties have the guys have. Most of the guys have 3-second penalties, and there goes Gerbo with 12 seconds of penalties. 12 seconds, and those 12 seconds are just track limits. Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely, definitely a race to forget for him, because I mean, sitting on pole position, then that bizarre incident around lap 3, which I'm still not sure what was it like, and just completely ruined this race.
Yeah, this is definitely wet weather right now. I can see puddles on track. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah,
it might be time
for wets. Might be. Because, yeah, who is going into the pits? Go for new Inters.
Oh, TS with a massive slide. Now Peter sticks it around the inside and is now into P5. TS is struggling quite a lot in these conditions. And Arenba is pitting. We might see the first pit stop for full wets.
Is he going for full wets?
I don't know, but I think he is. The rain is very bad right now.
He is going for
No,
full
it's
wets.
fresh inters.
This is not.
Oh, he's changing his wing.
Now I'm quite interesting. Now I'm quite interesting.
Well, I mean, the main reason he was pitting was to fix the damage. But at the same time, now he has the advantage of fresh inters. Because in the wet, having fresh inters against old inters gives you an even bigger advantage than the one you have when it's dry, like when you have different compounds. So yeah, Alemba can definitely find more time, but at the same time we don't know. No, wait, actually, if it was gonna be full wet anytime soon, then Alemba would have put the full wets now.
Yeah. No, I'm not kind of interesting. The half of the grid has almost all penalties. That's quite amazing, actually.
Indeed, it's 6 drivers. If we get one more driver, then one half of the grid is getting tracking with penalties.
Wow, that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot, only for Singapore. Seems like it's not the best driver for Singapore for many drivers. Jebal is going. He's doing very well actually with those 12 seconds penalty. He's doing quite well.
CS is pitting. Does he have wing damage? No, he doesn't. Can we finally see full wets maybe?
I think
or maybe he's going for fresh inters to try and have an advantage. Let's see.
First wets.
Full wets.
Full wets. Woo. Now I'm quite interesting about it.
This is a game changer. This could be a very big game changer.
I think it's wet time. Yeah, this is gonna be wets. Definitely. I'm watching now him exiting the pits. Will this be a much greater advantage than the inters?
Yeah, the rain is so massive now. The inters are running so slow. Alemba just flies past Kielander, but at the same time Alemba might actually need to pit for full wet soon. It's very understeery on entry and oversteery on exit for all of these drivers.
Yeah, this is time for wets. Yeah.
We'll see in just a moment. The leaders are approaching the pit lane. Aiden stays out. Falcon stays out. Cam 2.
Harvey goes in. The AI for Dom goes in, even for fresh wets. Even the AI knows when it's wets. How crazy is that?
And Aiden Jones getting, going off the track and getting a penalty. And that can be massive because it might mean that Aiden might not be able to fight for the race win anymore, but he's still trying to hang in his side by side with Falcon going into zone 5. And Falcon definitely cannot afford to lose much time stuck behind Aiden. And they are still battling, and Falcon going off the track. Jebal gets another penalty, but Falcon is still clear. He still has no penalty. Flanken gets a penalty. Actually, can you check in the race director how many warnings does Falcon have?
Warnings? Let me check. Okay. Let me check.
Aiden just is sliding all over the place. One?
Yeah. Wait. I see one warning.
TS as well, penalty.
Wait. You see another? Nope. Falcon has only just one warning. Only just one.
So Falcon right now is looking like the best driver in these conditions. He's keeping his cool, keeping it on track, and even when fighting with Aiden, now he just knows he just needs to stick behind. Even if he gets overtaken by Cam, it's not that big of a deal because they have penalties. So Falcon just needs to watch out and to not go beyond the white lines, which he has done brilliantly up until now. But again, he cannot afford to let Aiden slow him down as much.
Yep. Well, about news about Jeroboam. He has now 15 seconds of penalties. Yeah. Jeroboam is not doing great. He is not doing great.
And still with 15 seconds, he will still finish P9. No, P8.
Well, that's still in the point zone. That's good. And Falcon is very close to Aiden Jones. Goes into turn
7.
Turn 7 right now. It's probably the most not hardest part of Singapore. Wasn't turn 11 and 12 and
yes, the hardest part is this one they are going in right now.
yeah. Turn 13 is the most hardest corner.
Yeah, the hairpin. Like all the way from turn 10 to 13, the hardest section. Turn 10 is where the old Singapore sling chicane was.
Yeah. But now it's very much different to the new track layout. Normally, where they go straight on, races go into turn 14. Normally, there was a tunnel section. And that's straight, and then you go into turn 14. Then that was normally turn 13 and 15. That was normally, I think it was turn 13 full actually. I think because you have that little go into the tunnel and then exit the tunnel, and then you go into the double chicane. So yeah, now it's all different than if the
yellow flags for TS spun outside of the hairpin.
Now I'm quite amazing there's no safety car coming at all.
Oh, now Falcon is finally making a move, but Hayden Jones is still trying to hang it on the inside. Hayden Jones does not want to give the position to Falcon despite his penalty.
Yeah, the penalty is gonna be a very game changer. Now there are 14 laps of Inters.
You know what? My take right now is that the full wets are faster, but none of the top runners are willing to use them because they are fighting so close for position, and they just think they wouldn't have enough time to gain, even if they have that much of an advantage.
Yeah. Now I'm wondering how much EOS has Falcon. Gerber ka sana juice sa penalty. The EOS of Falcon is 16%, Aiden Jones 19, Cam 17, Gerber has 55% of EOS, Peter has 90 to 80%. Everyone else back then is on the 90 to 100% of EOS, and the point one the top 3 has 19 to 50% of EOS. So they're using a lot of EOS than if the back runners. This is quite amazing though. So they're gonna be a little bit faster, but they are they have about 22 seconds behind, so that won't be a problem for them. Seems like the weather, the rain, is slightly to drop. It's not any more wet right now, it's more like an inter, but it's still a wet track. So, I don't know. Maybe a lap 30, we're gonna maybe have an, still a wet track. And then maybe lap 31, maybe we're gonna have a dry track maybe.
No, I mean, if he wanted to be dry, it would be drying already here. Like the track just doesn't dry up in one lap. You need a lots of rubbering, a lot of kilometers to be put in. It's just not enough in one lap.
Well, we start to calm down a little.
Well, yeah,
That's good.
it's definitely now it's definitely back into winter's condition. I mean,
Yeah.
in terms of tires, the like the optimal strategies would have been inters, full wets, inters, like in terms of track conditions. But none of them wanted to put the full wets because they knew the inters would be much more useful in the end of the race. So a full pit stop, like one more pit stop than necessary, was just not ideal.
Yeah, and seems like the rain is starting to more calm down than one lap before. I think the wets it isn't doing very great. TS is pitted for Inters again, so he's on Inters. Still the battle between Enidos and Falcon, they continue. And the rain might be over very soon. But when is the question? Now, look on the penalties again. Gerba has 18 seconds of penalties. Wow. Not very good from Gerba. The rest has all 3 seconds of penalties. Now by 21, 22 seconds your penalties, you're disqualified. Not very good news for Gerbil. He has got a time penalty, he has 6 seconds of penalties. Just imagine Gerbil gets disqualified of too many track limits of penalties. Just imagine it happens.
He will need about 30 seconds or more.
Oh, no, that's fine for him. Well, we go now into lap 30. One more lap remaining.
2 more laps actually.
Yeah, two more laps. Yeah, 2 more laps. Well, 2 more laps remaining, and we see the fight between Wiz and Flankoenig. Wiz has passed. Wiz has finally passed Flankoenig on lap 30. And Gerbalm gets another
21 now.
This must be the most unforgivable race of Gerbalm his whole career. Cause I never saw him with 21 seconds of penalties.
Out of all the drivers, it could have been any driver and it was Gerbal out of all of them.
Yeah. Wow.
Like
well,
the championship leader, the 3-time world champion, the only world champion for now in Sunday League F1, getting 21 seconds of penalties.
Inside of 6 seconds or 3 seconds. Wow. That is not very, very good of him.
He drank too much piwo.
Yeah. Now we go into the final lap of Singapore. At Ene knows at P1, but will definitely be P2. Because Falcon is going to be P1. Because the penalties. And doesn't really... Falcon is 1 second behind him, so that won't be much of a surprise for him. Then we see any other battles, not really actually, only the battle between Falcon and Aiden Jones, and Falcon still stays behind. Aiden Jones is still on top. Now, can Aiden Jones defend from Falcon in those last couple of corners, going into turn 8? Right now, and it goes into turn 9, and rain is still dropping, and Aiden Jones make his way to turn 10, 11, and 12, most difficult part of the track. And now they go into the most hardest part of all. We have the yellow flag, and then
Yes.
TS. He's gonna get lapped, and
I mean,
is,
TS is getting lapped by his teammate who is winning the race.
yeah, that's heartbreaking.
The absolute
was like-
scenes.
that-
The absolute
that-
scenes when it starts raining is just wow. But there we go.
Yeah.
The cameras
No,
the cameras are on Falcon because
Yeah.
he definitely needs the recognition of this race. He was won on strategy and he was won with patience and not getting track limits and surviving the rain. It's a wonderful drive by Aiden Jones, but it's Falcon who gets the checkered flag in first place to win the Singapore Grand Prix. Aiden Jones, after demonstrating very good pace, winning on track, but he has to settle only for P2 and Cam rounds off the podium. Gerbal goes on track in P4, but he will be very quickly down into P30 or something. So this means that Allenby finishes in P4. Peter in P5. Flanken will now go across the finish line in P6. Very good points for Sauber. Hats off for them for very useful points for the team. 5th and 6th place, 18 points for them. Well, actually, wait, Gerbal is ahead of Flanken. Am I seeing right?
Yes, you see right.
Is
He's
Gerbal only
P6.
P6? Only?
He's P6. What? Huh?
I could have sworn he would have gone much lower. Peter gets driver of the day. Yes and no. I mean, he gets useful points for Sauber in the standings, but at the same time, I will give it to Falcon because he just was the best driver in those wet conditions, and there was no doubt about that. Consolidating his P3 in the driver standings, still staying P3. There's still some points to recover from him and Noah, but he closed the gap very, very beautifully, and he deserves this race win here in Singapore. And it's also very useful points for McLaren in their fights with Williams in the standings. I reckon positions will stay the same, but nonetheless very useful points. Hats off to Aiden though, because he gets the fastest lap, so 1 extra point for him and Williams. And there we go, these are the official results for Singapore. It is Falcon who takes the win, Aiden Jones in P2 and Cam closes the podium in P3. Alba is in P4, Peter in P5 and Gerbal surprisingly in P6. Flanken in P7, Rees in P8, Kielander in P9, and yes, rounds off the top 10 being lapped, but still 1 more point for McLaren. So this is it, a very, very wet Singapore Grand Prix. We didn't think it would be that wet, but anyway, that's how it ended up. And let's see the calendar, because the next race will be a very, very beautiful one. It is Suzuka in Japan.
Wow. Suzuka in Japan, that is gonna be an interesting race. Definitely.
Yeah, very fast track. It is difficult to
Yeah.
pass. It could rain a lot there. Like I mean, like realistically, the chances of rain are much higher in Suzuka than in Singapore. But still, I mean, even if wet or dry, Japan always puts off great races. So looking forward to that one.
Yeah. And of course, the curbs right there, they are not gonna be very happy when they go cars over there, but yeah, let's just wait for next week.
Thank you for watching tonight's stream. This has been the Singapore Grand Prix, the 9th round. There are only 3 rounds left in this season 4, and we'll see how it goes next week in Japan. Once again, I am BS Gabri. I am joined by Jaden, your favorite commentator duo as always, and we will see you in just a week for the Japanese Grand Prix. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again in next week.